Headings and subheadings, they can save you. A heading is going to be, let's say, the title of a blog post or the title of an article. And then as you go have subheadings, subheadings make it very easy on the reader because they can scan through, find what they want, read what they want. In the online world, it's all about speed and ease. I know many of us don't like to write that way, but that's just how it is online. You want to make it easy for people to find what they want. This is my favorite. The impenetrable wall of text. You don't see it much anymore. You used to see websites that from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen and from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen was nothing but words. Bulletproof. Disaster. Don't do that. It's like looking at a blank wall. The reader has nothing to start with. There's nothing to get you going. You don't want to do that. Don't try to read this. This is the impenetrable wall. Compare it to what's easier to read. Okay, see the difference? It's just a bunch of nonsense parts of a car. Listing is a fantastic technique. What I'm using here is bullets. You can also use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E. Any sort of numbering scheme, whether it's letters or numbers, implies that something is either comes first or it's more important than what follows. When you're going to use a numbered scheme, realize that so that you put what's important or what's first, literally first. If you don't, the reader will have no clue what you're getting at. If you have a list like this where it really doesn't matter, just use bullets. And you can, a bullet can be anything. It can, these happen to be triangles. It can be a dot or a square, or it could be anything. You can pick whatever you like. It doesn't really matter. I picked the triangles because I like them. Oh, statistics. Have I got a great story for you? A number of years ago, I was interested in doing business with a company in Washington. So I sent them an email. I got an email back, and the first thing I noticed was the first letter of the first word wasn't capitalized. And I said, isn't that strange? And then I read the sentence, and it said, among other things, we keep 50% of our clients every year. Now, you are smart people. If you keep 50% of your clients every year, how many are you losing? 50%. What they said to me was, we lose half of our customers every year. Now, do you want, if I stood up here and said to you, gee, I keep half my customers every year, would any one of you want to do business with me? No. Be careful what you say. When you use a statistic, never, ever allow the reader to draw their own conclusion. You tell the reader the conclusion that you want them to draw. Now, what they should have said, and I don't know if this is true, but what they should have said, we keep 50% of our people. This is the best retention rate in the industry because the nature of our business is that we help people and they move on. Now I'm happy. 50% of the people do so well that they don't need this particular company. But that's not what they said. They let me draw my conclusion. And you're smart people. You would draw the same conclusion. Don't do that. When you use a graphic, and it could be a photograph, it could be anything really, tell the reader why it's there. Now, I'm talking about something that is part of either your blog post or your article, your publication. If you're going to use some kind of a graphic in the title, or you're going to use, I don't know, let's say the Coca-Cola logo because you're writing about Coke, no, you don't have to explain it. It's there as a visual thing to make it look nice. But if you've got something in there, a picture of an airplane or a dog or whatever, and it relates to that article, you need to tell the reader why it's there and how it relates to the article, because they won't know. They won't have a clue. That wraps me up. Do you want to talk just for a little bit about a media release? Because you probably all have a need to use a media release. The format of a media release, I use 4 on top, put my name, put the business name, contact information underneath that, full contact information, not necessarily your home address, but certainly phone number, email. Underneath that goes for immediate release if you want it released, obviously immediately. If your book isn't going to be released until the 1st of June and you're sending this out ahead of time, to be released on June 1st. And then you have a title. Spend 99% of your time on the title. The title is going to be in the, or a portion of the title is going to be in the subject header of your email. If you don't grab them, if they don't open it, you've lost. The title must get you to read the first sentence. On the very, very first beginning of the first line, open paren, the town that you live in, and today's date, close paren. That is very important. When someone finds this email, that tells them how old it is. So is it a week old? It's on somebody's desk. There's the date right next to the, they call it the date line. It's your town and the date. That's important. Don't skip it. And then your first couple sentences are who, what, when, where, why. Don't fool around. Don't say, hi, how are you? Don't say, gee, I thought you'd like to know. That's it, gone. They'll never see him again. They will dump you like that. And then the second paragraph material that's less important, third paragraph, if you use one, you may have a header. Now you can also put in, make it a multimedia, you can put in a video, you can put in pictures, you can put in a cover of your book. All that stuff can go in the media release. The very last paragraph is called boilerplate. It doesn't necessarily ever need to change from media release to media release. That's about you, and you can put in about the author. And put in information that's important to the media. Don't tell them I've been writing for 62 years or 29. They don't want to know how long you've been writing. They don't care if you like roses or posies or you like big dogs. Tell them about you as what's important to your writing career. If you have other publications, that's fine. But keep it. This isn't a resume. You want to tell them about you, the writer you. And that's fine. Then it's ended. Take a look at it, spell check it, go through it with a fine-tooth comb. One of the things I'm always doing is I write you for your and your for you. I have to be very careful about that. Watch for Y-O-U-R. When you mean Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, you know, that will, because when you're thinking, you're saying Y-O-U-R in your head, your, and you write it. So go through it, take your time with it, save it, spell check it, and then read it very, very carefully. What I find works best is to print it out and read it with a red pen.
Spell check will check that.
That's right. Spell check will miss correctly spelled words, and it will also miss the wrong word in the spot that's spelled right. That's why you need to do an eyes-on check, a physical check, absolutely. Go ahead.
And very often the software will make words out of correct words that you type and make them incorrect. It happens to me at work all the time.
Yeah, you have to be very careful when you, don't trust the dictionary, use it for what it's worth. But definitely don't trust it. But anything important, like a media release, send it out, and you can send it, like I mentioned earlier, Wall Street Journal, CNN, you can do these things online. You can hire a service. PR Web is good. There are others, and they will send it out for you. PR Web gets $150 or $199. They've got different plans, but they get out to thousands and thousands of people. If you're interested in that sort of thing, yes.
The other thing I would say is read it out loud, because your eyes and your brain know what you thought you
That's
put
correct.
there, but you
That's
might
correct.
have left a word
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But if you read it out loud, you'll catch it.
Reading out loud is excellent. You can read it backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can print it out and hand it to somebody and say, would you read this for me?
Yeah, exactly.
And give them a red pen. Tell them, look, it's only a piece of paper, mark it up. And when you do that, do it double-spaced. Always work double-spaced. Send it out single-spaced, but anything that you're working on, work double-spaced. Working single-spaced makes me crazy because everything is just too close together. Do you all use Word or WordPerfect, a major word processor? Okay. They're very, very powerful. You can write your blog posts in Word and then cut and paste them into the blogging software. You can write anything in a major word processor and then cut and paste it somewhere else. And they've got the thesaurus and the dictionary is there and all the tools and all the toys. They're excellent. You get a lot of mileage out of a high-end word processor. I use WordPerfect X6. They also have an ebook maker, and it works great. It makes a .mobi file, it makes an HTML file, it makes a couple of others. So I click on the HTML file and it opens in a web browser. So I can look through and check all of the formatting, if I've got an extra space here, or I've got a title, a chapter heading, and there's too much space underneath it, I can go back and fix it, find out what makes it right. So these tools are out there. Mobi Pocket, M-O-B-I Pocket, is an excellent Mobi maker. You can use many different formats, make a book with it, and then you upload it to Amazon, or you can upload it to Barnes & Noble, other places as well. Ebook market is coming on strong. Really good place to be. Hope to see you at Kappa U. If you please stop and say hello. I think I'm on in the afternoon if you get a chance. There's other stuff that's competing with me, of course. So if you don't stop in, that's fine. No harm, no foul. But say hello anyway. I usually put together, or I offer people a group. We get together after Kappa U's all over about 4 o'clock. We end up in a corner and we'll have a meeting. We can talk about networking. We can talk about marketing. You name it, whatever you want to talk about. So if you're there around 4 o'clock and you can pry me away from a chocolate chip cookie, you know, we can go and find a corner somewhere and sit down and chat. Had a great time. Thank you very much.